So he reached out to me at a meeting and he said, something doesn't seem right. I mean, how can somebody sell this at 50% off? I said, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Mm-hmm. And so I said, let me do some looking. Then I came back and I looked through like the business registry and looked at everything. A business that was basically 2 days old, had no reviews, no website, no nothing. And it was a complete scam. Welcome back to the Main Street Marketing Podcast. I am Skip Rank, I'm your host, and today I am joined by Emma Opperman, who is our production manager at Paragon, and we are going to talk about scams, common scams that businesses fall into and they get approached by, and we see a lot of them. So we're going to go over some of those to talk to you a little bit about today, and hopefully you don't fall for them. But Emma, first, thank you for joining me, and also tell us a little bit about what you do at Paragon.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this question. Okay.
That's a big one to answer, I guess.
I don't know what I do. I'm just here. I hate when people ask that question. I don't actually know what I do. Okay.
Oh, God.
I just am here to keep Skip on track. Okay.
No, that's funny.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm good now. Stop. I'm not
I don't know what
this.
I do. I just show
here.
up. Oh, God, that's funny. All right, so we're going to leave that answer because that's absolutely funny. I think we're just going to leave it. So today,
I don't know.
We're going to keep going. So today on the show, let's talk about some scams that we go through and that we've seen. So everybody gets hit with scams all the time. Whether it's on your email, whether it comes through your website, whether it comes through the mail, they're always in your face. People have nothing else better to do than to try to scam you. And we see it all the time on a variety of different levels. There's a lot of things going on right now in the world where people are constantly getting barraged with scams. And it's going to only get worse because next year it's an election year. I was talking about some information security council thing that I was reading an article on. They said it could be up over 50% more than what it already is just because it's an election year. So we always have to be vigilant about what's going on around us. And one of the biggest things that's happening we've seen lately are those online scams where you get in the mail for the domain search.
Oh, yep.
These are really bad because what you do is they send this thing and it looks real.
Renew your domain. Don't lose it today. You must pay this money.
Panic. And so people they sign up for it. They give the $299 down and $100 a month, and it does nothing for them because this has nothing to do with anything that has to do with your website, your domain, because they don't even host it. It's usually at a GoDaddy or a SiteGround or something like that. And so they're coming for us. They're coming for us.
It is really picking that up.
It really is. That's all right. So what they do is people sign these things, they send them back, and they get completely hacked for money. So if you happen to see one of these things in the mail that says your domain America or domain network or whatever that is, take that thing and rip it up.
They're not going to mail you something. They're going to email you that your domain's up for renewal, but that should be a big red flag. You're not going to get something in the snail mail about renewing your domain.
No, not at all. So that's a first clue. And if you have a question about it, reach out and talk to somebody about it. Look at it, read the fine print. You'll see on the back, I think it says this is a solicitation for business. Mm-hmm. So you really have to read it. And we see, I bet you on any given month, I get 10, 15 emails on that.
Just last week I got an email of someone asking, I got this in the mail. I thought you guys had my domain. What is this? And good for them for double checking.
Right. Otherwise they would have, we've had people that have filled it out and sent it back. And I'm like, I can't do anything about it.
Yep.
One of our clients did. He said, I thought that was from you. I said, well, it didn't have my logo on it. Mm-hmm. Why would you send that up? But he did it, and it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But so the other thing that's going on right now, which is huge, is meta scams.
Oh my gosh. Multiple messages every day. Anyone that has a Facebook page has probably seen these. You get these messages from people and it says, the name of the account is something like Meta Support, and it says either you're in copyright infringement, we're going to take down your page, you need to authorize this account, all these things. To double check it is the scare tactics, right?
That's what it is.
They scare you. Your page is going to come down if you don't click this link and resolve it. And you click that link, and instantly that can give them access to take over your Facebook page, and you can lose everything.
Your reviews, the amount of followers, the whole shebang, and people are falling for it. We just had the conversation this morning in an early morning meeting, and our client gets hit with this every single day. And because we administer accounts, we get copies of it for all the accounts, and so it's annoying. We can't stop it.
No, but Meta, the same thing. Meta's not going to message you. It just is always good to take a breath and not panic. And really, really look into it, because people, we love when information comes to us. We don't like to search for things,
right.
But these big companies, they're not going to send you these messages. They don't have the time, honestly, to care about you and send you an individual message about that.
Right.
And then you'll notice a few days passes after you get the message and that account has been deactivated. And so you can tell when you keep getting these over and over again, you have all these deactivated messages that they're not real.
Drives you nuts. And you get the other thing that where people are also doing now. One of our clients actually got it. Was they were getting messages on Messenger from somebody who was trying to sell them equipment, and so we said they had picked it up somewhere that he was looking to buy equipment. He was maybe on a website, they picked it up or something. And they actually sent him a message saying, hey, we have this piece of equipment for sale, half of what you would be paying someplace else. So instantaneously, as a business owner, he wears a lot of hats. He needs this equipment. He's thinking half than what I was going to spend. I'm going to save myself like $6,000. Well, to a business owner, that's a lot of money. So he reached out to me at a meeting, and he said, something doesn't seem right. Why? How can somebody sell this at 50% off? I said, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And so I said, let me do some looking. Then I came back and I looked through like the business registry and looked at everything. A business that was basically 2 days old, had no reviews, no website, no nothing. And it was a complete scam.
Yeah, these are getting so creative. You have the bot scams out there, right? These things that are happening over and over again, and then these individuals that are doing this, and sometimes it's hard to catch because it's you know of a lot of scams out there happening, but it could be something new that you haven't heard of yet. But
they look real.
If you have a sense of doubt, you have to go
the
with
research because it's. How many times have I sent you something where I forwarded and I said, is this real? Is this going on? And and I'm the biggest panicker of all. But if it is one of those things, it's like you say, no, this is a scam.
Well, pro tip, copy, if it's an email or a message, you can copy the text of that, put it in Google, and if it's a common scam, all these threads show up of don't fall for this like I did, and the same verbiage. They use it over and over again. It's copy, paste, and you'll notice in some of them the English is not, like the grammar's not quite right. They're just, something's a little bit off, and just put it into Google.
Take a breath. Very good. And you do that all the time.
Yes.
You look up stuff all the time.
Oh, I'm a big doubter.
That's awesome. One of the other things that people have to watch out for, and this happened, 2 or 3 times to people over the course over the last year that I've talked to, are services that guarantee X amount of leads or phone calls or something along those lines. First off, you can't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
You can guarantee that you're going to work hard for somebody and you're going to put them in a position to get as many clicks or reviews or whatever the case may be, but they can't guarantee leads.
Same thing you were talking about earlier. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Right. And this guy, he came to me and he said, look, they're going to give me 50 leads. And I said, no, they're not. And I said, if they give you 50 leads, are they going to be qualified leads? And he kind of said, well, why? And I said, there are people out there that actually will have this service that will hire a metric crap ton of people that will actually answer the ad and make it look like a lead.
And wasn't it in the contract that if we don't give you these qualified leads, we will refund your money?
Right.
But it was not the ad spend in the fine print. They weren't going to refund the ad spend.
Nope.
They were going to refund their fees,
which was so small. So it was like, okay. it was really a scam, and he bought into it. And
Didn't
2
work
weeks,
out.
no, 2 weeks later he called me and he's like, I got to get out of this. What do? I said, well, just cancel it. He got 25 leads. None of them were in his service area, like even in the same state. So he said, how am I supposed to do this service? I'm not driving to Illinois.
We warned you.
Yeah, we did. So he didn't do anything. So, and one of the other things you have to watch out for in kind of on the same realm, and there's some really good agencies or companies out there that do specify in industry specific marketing, and they're very good. But there are new ones that pop up all the time that they say they're industry specifically focused and they know everything about that industry, when in the grand scheme of things, they don't know anything about the industry, or they may know very little. And so you really have to do some research when it comes to that. We've had that happen to numerous times.
Yes, I'll always double check, dig a little bit deeper, look into these companies and see if they're legit.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And there was one other thing. Oh, people that ask for money up front, like large sums of money up front without even having, if you do this and, give us $10,000 and what we'll do is we'll create this wonderful plan for you and yada, yada, yada. Do some research on those. You really got to get names of people that they did work with, because you have to do that, because that's your money. Once it's gone, it's gone. You're not getting it back.
That's true.
They're going to run. And so if you value your money, do some research.
Well, so really, actually just this morning, right, someone had a website with an online store, and they were getting all these fake orders. Well, they assumed they were fake orders because they're smart clients, and these orders over and over again for the same product, probably like 5 a minute. Yep, they were getting like 5 a minute. I think they probably got 500 orders. And it was somebody that was trying to get into the credit card information, testing out credit cards, seeing what was working. Really, anything when it comes to money, you got to be super cautious. But that's why people partner with different companies, get those second opinions, because we were able to quickly take down their store and then install some different security tactics to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and it's out there, and you can't avoid it because they're out there. They want to get in there and get that information.
Yep. Yeah, those emails that you get that when it, like, I've gotten some from you, actually. It's not really you, but it says
they're spoofed.
From Jim Ranke, and it says, like, I need help right now, right? And it's that sense of urgency that, like, oh, this person that I know, I got to help them. And you reply, and eventually they want gift cards, send money over PayPal. But if you actually take a deeper look and you look at the email that it's from, it's not really from that person's email. The name is correct, but not the email address.
It's like they want to prey on short attention spans and the speed of how people act.
Yep.
They're not stupid.
No, but anything when it comes to money, whether it's these big down payments, upfront costs, people emailing asking for money, letters in the mail, you just got to be super cautious.
But you know what's popping up that's even scarier? Is the AI stuff. I mean, that is where people are getting their voice copied and then getting phone calls, and it sounds like the daughter or a family member or something, and they're saying, hey, I need $500, and it's not real.
No, we live in a scary world, but we're so quick to jump on things. We have short attention spans, and that's where we get ourselves into trouble.
I was telling you about that story about my friend, where his daughter was gone. She was at a friend's house, and he got one of those calls, and she's saying that she needed $1,500 to get this. I think it was for the tow truck, if I remember right. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of it. I'll just let me know where you're at, and I'll wire it into I'll Venmo it into your account, and you can just send it over to the driver." And he hung up the phone, and he was like, "Well, wait a minute. You're supposed to be at ABC's house. You guys are just going to hang out and do homework, and I don't know. I better call over there quick." And he called, and she's like, "Yeah, I've been sitting here the whole time." And if he wouldn't have thought that and just sent that money, and it happens. I mean, it's scary. It's just scary how people do that. So just always, we have to always go through every single day with our guard up. And it's going to continue. It's not going to get any better. So we just have to do that. So with that being said, how do business owners and how do just anybody really not fall for scams?
I think it's kind of as simple as you said. You got to be cautious. If you have that sense of doubt, right? Google what's happening. ask a trusted friend, partner, business, get that second opinion to just see what's out there. That other people have fallen for this. They've seen it before. You never know who's going to have that advice that's going to save you thousands of dollars.
Oh, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it could be more than that. So it's almost, you almost have to just think twice.
Slow down.
Slow down. I mean, if it looks weird, if it doesn't feel right, everybody's got that little sixth sense. They get that little voice. You're like,
And pay attention to those little details. Look at the email things are coming from. Read it through slowly. You'll catch the grammatical errors, things that seem like they're not written by someone that English is their first language. Like there are little things that you can catch if you just slow down and really process what just got sent to you.
I'm guilty of it. Where, I mean, I've never like gone and like clicked into it, but I read it and I just like, oh, this is just like, oh, and then you'll point that out to me and say, well, look at that line right there. That is not even grammatically accurate. So that's a really good point. And then with regards to the promises though, business owners, and really anybody for that matter, they want things, they want it fast, and as humans, we naturally want to believe something is real. And it's a shame, but you can't do that anymore.
Yes.
I mean, so that's why when we talk to people, we say, look, we're not going to make you promises we can't keep. We just won't. Because if you do get a lot of that, if you really get somebody who's saying, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this and we'll guarantee it, or I promise you, be skeptical. It's okay to be skeptical.
Yes.
And I think that some people, not everybody, but some people just don't, it's not in their nature to be skeptical. And you're almost kind of forcing someone to get into the different zone that they're not comfortable with. So force yourself into that zone and question everything.
Yep. Check reviews, ask people. It's funny, this morning just talking to somebody about how word of mouth marketing is the most important, because you trust somebody that trusts this other company, and that's the best way to grow business and work with different vendors and things like that, because some of us are so skeptical that if somebody trusts this company, it's so easy to believe them and say, okay, if you trust them, I'll trust them. That is part of that research.
Right. And it's not, the other thing is if somebody, it's not wrong to ask somebody who wants to do business with you or is making promises to say, look, give me the names of people you've done business with in that area and let me call them. You don't have to make a decision right then and there.
No, and if there is a company that's pressuring you to make a decision instantly, I mean, that in itself is a red flag.
Yeah, it's a huge red flag. So nothing is that urgent that you need to make sure that you can't take time to make sure that it's legit. Right. And that just brought up a little pop-up in my head. When we talk about scams and we talk about everything and people trying to hack, this is a good time to remind me, you, and everybody else, change your passwords often and frequently.
And whatever it is, make sure somebody else has access to it. If it's a Facebook page, different social media accounts, you don't want one admin. You want multiple people, because you never know when your account gets compromised. You want somebody else to be able to access it. So, I mean, just an easy checklist. Change passwords every so often. Make sure other people have access to your important accounts.
And make sure that they're hard enough that somebody can't access it. Like,
don't use the same password for everything.
Like we did for a long time before we changed it. We always said, oh, just try this one. It's probably that.
Someone else can guess your password that you trust bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's also too, like those you always see your friends copy and paste things on Facebook, like, what's the name of your first dog? What's your mom's maiden name? And people like to do these trends because they're popular, but if you actually look at those questions, those are the security questions that any accounts, like your bank account, they ask you those. Name of your first pet. What was your third grade teacher? Those are the security questions, and that's why those are trends on Facebook, because if your profile is public, somebody can go get that information and potentially get into your accounts.
I never even put that together.
So don't be one of those people that follows those trends.
I never even put that together. That was just like a biggest aha moment.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've never, but I've never. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how that all started.
I learned something new today. Unbelievable. All right, well, There you go. So the other thing is when somebody's asking for money up front, again, be diligent about it. I mean, some people really do want to have money up front to get things going, to do things, and that's okay. It's all right. I mean, there's parameters, but do your homework, look at the fine print, make sure that read a contract. Don't just sign it.
Don't just click that online link to pay. Write a check maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't think, I guess I did get a little burned. A couple weeks ago with something where I just said, they say, here's your terms and conditions, and you just click it and pay it. Well, I had signed up for a plugin for something I was working with, and I had the 7-day trial. So I clicked on it. I said, 7-day trial. I'll give it a shot. I'll click on it. I put in my credit card. It wasn't like a massive amount of money. It was like $12 or whatever. But once you click that, and if you cancel the 7-day trial, they will credit you. Or they're going to they charged me.
And then they'll credit you back
and
later.
They'll credit me back later. But when I read it, it says we could take up to 45 days to credit you back. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all right, that's $12. Okay, not a big deal.
I'm so guilty at just checking terms and conditions and not actually reading them. But, I mean, we really should take the time to read what we're agreeing to, especially when there's money involved.
Yeah, and this was actually an AI plugin that I was using with something else. And it was like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, if 100 people did that a day, or 1,000 people did that a day at $12, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it racks up. Now you know why people do this.
Right. And so it's just like, well, wow, that's, so I learned from that myself. I got to take a little bit of time and don't always look at that 7-day trial stuff. That's my biggest thing. The other thing is if you happen to get something from larger companies, like spam emails, where they're saying, hey, in order for you to update this or to get access to your next level, I saw some of those they're spoofing larger companies like Amazon.
Yep.
They're saying you can get it the next tier if you you upgrade your subscription. There is no upgraded subscription for Amazon Prime.
Right.
It's one amount.
That's like I get texts all the time, and it's like, this is UPS. We tried to deliver your package, and you weren't there. And I'm like, I didn't order a package. Like, what are they talking about? And same with the post office. And in reality, when you think about it, unless you specifically ordered something and you signed up for those text updates, these companies aren't going to text you. Like I said, they don't really care. They're not going to take the time to send that text message. So you just got to take that extra step of like, why are they really texting me and what do they want?
The only company that I've ever got a text from that was legit was FedEx, because I had to sign for something.
Okay.
So that was a little bit different. But then I got another one from FedEx saying that a package was going to be delivered and I had no package coming.
Yeah, you didn't order anything.
So it was like, I was like, well, wait a minute. I didn't have anything I have to sign for. So it was one of those things. But yeah,
But so many people fall for these, and that's why they keep doing this. So the more educated people are about this, and the less people fall for this, I mean, then there's a potential that we could get reduced amounts of this. It's probably never going to happen.
No.
But, I mean, that's why they keep doing it, because people do fall prey to these.
And it's a law of numbers. So they're just playing the law of averages. They're just saying, well, if there's 200 million people that I'm going to target, if I hit, 10% of those that are even going to even look at it, and I get the half of half, well, now I'm down to, still a pool of people that are, someone's going to fall for it. So it's unfortunate, but that is just the way
educate those people that they aren't good at technology. They fall for this. So older people, I know I'm always telling my grandma, you don't click on anything you get on the internet. You call me first, and I'll walk you through it. But you got to, people don't know. They fall for it, and you just got to warn those people in your lives that are fall victim to these. And
there's even those phone scams where they try to record your voice, and that's dangerous. So if you say hello,
or hi, this is Emma, right? Then they got you saying your own name, and they can use that against you.
Right. So do you pause when you get some calls every once in a while?
Every time we go through this, and you'll remind me of, that can happen, or somebody else will say something. For a good few weeks I do it, and then you just forget.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't answer the phone anymore saying hi. I always say, can I help you? And I always take that extra second, because I'll hear that click.
Yes. It depends on the number too, right? If it's a local number, but again,
they're getting good at that too.
They're good at getting local numbers.
Because how many times have we said, boy, that looked like a number of somebody I knew?
It's a few digits off.
Yeah. And you're like, and all you see is the 262-2512, and you're like, oh, okay, that's
it's got to be someone local.
Got to be somebody local. I know who they are. But, they have some of those filters like the robo-spammers and stuff like the robocallers and stuff. But still, some of those things are really close. And you mentioned something about the police, the police one.
Yes. I think it's like when you get a call and it's it's the local police foundation. We're just looking we're fundraising money. And these police the offices, like they post that they don't call for that stuff. But people will give their credit card over the phone, or they'll say, sure, I'll mail a check, but these aren't organizations that are real.
No, and that guy always sounds so real. Hey, I've been trying to reach you.
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Or they pull on your heartstrings a little bit, like, well, we really need this money to help us with XYZ mission. And don't get me wrong, there are some organizations that are real that do call for money. But a lot of time, look up that organization. Is it a real thing? Have other people reported that phone number before as potential scam?
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's just, if you're really passionate about giving money for that, there's these extra steps you should take to make sure that it's real before you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with helping people out.
Yep.
Just make sure that it's legit. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, cool. All right. So here comes the here comes the fun part. So every time when we go through an episode, we have a little game at the end. And so now we have the Would You Rather game. This is the scam edition of the Would You Rather.
I'm a little nervous.
So I'm going to ask you, would you rather? And you've got basically 5 seconds to answer each question.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Okay, number 1. Would you rather fall for a scam that cost you $3,000 personally, or fall for a scam that cost your place of work $30,000?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say $3,000 because then Skip's going to help me out with that.
Note to self, no raise. Okay, second one. I'm just kidding you. Second one. Would you rather be tricked into downloading and installing a money transfer application on your phone, or send $1,000 to your favorite Nigerian prince?
Probably $1,000. We store so much on our phones. I don't want anything to get on there and get all my information.
Right? There's so much on there. Even that new update from Apple, which is kind of crazy. They sent out this big thing you have to watch. So our phones are.
Yes.
Just one day, I want everybody to put their phone down. Really, just one day, just shut it off, and nobody gets to call anybody. Nobody texts anybody.
Could be kind of nice.
Wouldn't that be great?
Is that a question on there?
No, it's just a dream. All right. Third one. Would you rather pay $10,000 to an agency that guaranteed 300 new leads in a month, or knock on 1,000 doors and only get 3 leads? Ooh.
I don't know. I don't like talking to people, so I might not knock on the doors. I'm going to go with the first option there, see what happens.
$10,000 versus
well,
knocking
but
on 1,000?
then I don't have to talk to people.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So 10 grand. Okay. Note to self, Emma's not going to go door to door. All right. Next one. Would you rather blindly trust a vendor that claims to specialize in your industry to run a segment of your business, or spend 40 hours researching and interviewing vendors before settling on a preferred option?
Oh, definitely spending the 40 hours. I'm so cautious of people, and I kind of like the detective work a little bit.
Yeah, I know you do. All right, last one. Would you rather run a small business for 5 years and never turn a profit, or work for a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme for 1 year and make $1,000 pre-tax?
Oh, no, I hate those things. Definitely running a business with no profit. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. Thank you for joining me today. That was fun. And so we hope you learned something from that today about the businesses and the scams that are out there. Please, if it doesn't sound right or you're questioning something, pick up the phone, call us, call somebody, call a companion, call a friend, call another trusted mentor, and just don't fall for it, because it's not worth it. So just please, please, please be diligent, especially during this holiday season, or during the holiday season. They're always after you. So just be cautious about it. And so if you enjoyed this episode, please rate us on Apple and Spotify, and follow us because we got a lot of good episodes coming up this year. Working on a couple pretty cool guests. Hopefully they come through, but we're going to bring a lot of real great information to you. So please make sure to like us and rate us on there, and follow us for more episodes coming up. Hey, thanks for watching the latest episode of the Main Street Marketing Podcast. We really hope you got some great information. If you know somebody else who can use it, share it and like it, because we want to help as many business owners as we can. And also, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that bell, so as we release more episodes, we can give you even more content to help you in your business. Thanks.